Hello there. Just recently I've started experimenting with min-maxing strategies in Stardew, and this video is meant to demonstrate my strategy for maximizing money making during the first spring. This, as far as I know, to date, is the highest amount of gold accomplished in the first spring so far. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching. I'd like to start by emphasizing that I'm not great at editing, so most of this is going to be off the top of my head, and I apologize for that. You want to start out by changing the options to whatever fits you. Most importantly, the zoom options, you want to get that to 75% so that you can see more of the map. You start off by chopping down an area here, just opening it up so you can plant parsnips later. You gather 50 wood for the chests. This is very standard for most minimax runs, if not all. It is the best way to do the start. This here is the route you're gonna take after that. You can pause here if you'd like. It shows the best and quickest path to move, to gather as many forageables as possible, garbage cans and artifact spots in the quickest amount of time. Otherwise you can just follow my path here and you should be just fine, because I'm doing the exact same route here, of course. So this is one of the big grass spots that you can get a lot of mixed seeds if you're lucky. There's one above the Georgia market as well. You'll see that very soon. Most of you already know about it, but it's good for the first day to gather as many mixed seeds and fibers as possible. I got the left garbage can there. I'm not gonna get the right one just yet. I'm going up here to check if there's any artifact spots. That's the only reason I'm going up there. There's no other reason. The same goes for the beach later on. If you find an artifact at any point of the game, you can skip those parts. You don't have to go there. There's nothing there. There's no forageables. There's nothing. So you just ignore that if you've already found an artifact. The artifact is to give to Gunther so that you can finish the quest that gives you 250 gold, which will give you a lot of parsnips on day 1, which is very, very valuable. Gather all the spring onions here, and then finish off the weeds to the left here. Moving on to the beach now, we're gonna take this little detour around to get the garbage cans. Garbage cans are very important. They can give you a lot of good stuff, very, very good stuff. Do not underestimate them. Take those garbage cans and head straight for Pierre's. You can go to the weed spot right above Georgia Market here, but it happens too often that I enter Pierre's store and he just barely closes before I get there, so I'd rather just do this to not have to restart a run. I don't like restarting runs, unless I have to, if a run is over or something. It's quite a bother. You want to start by opening up a little spot here to plant all the parsnips and water them. As many as you can. I had a lot of spring onions, so I could afford dropping quite a few. But it's fine if you do it the following day. We open up this path here so we can run back after we've done fishing. This is the only reason we're opening up this part, and it's important to do that if you have excess energy on the first day. Secondly, here we just gather a lot of weeds for the remainder of the day. That's all we do. Next day, we're gonna just plop our stuff in the chest and we're gonna start watering right away. The reason we didn't sell those forageables is because, as a fellow Redditor wrote on Reddit, the subreddit of Stardew Valley, if you take all the forageables and you turn them into mixed seeds, like this, you actually end up making more money, almost twice, or actually about twice if they're not gold quality. Which is very, very nice, especially because on day 3 we're gonna try to get the fiberglass rod. That's the goal. So in order to afford that, we need as much money as possible. If a villager is nearby when you pick a garbage can, that's even better, because that makes them disgusted, and that's really, really important for the run. You want to make sure that you're on every villager's bad side. As far as fishing is concerned, you want to make sure that as many catches as possible are perfect, because a perfect catch will give you 2.8 times the experience, according to the wiki at least. So you level a lot faster that way. You should aim to have as much fishing skill as possible by the end of the day, But don't bum yourself out if you can't get 3, it's fine. Just getting 2 is fine. 2 is all you need. So I decided to sell all my fiber and clay on the second day, and there's a reason for that, because the strategy involves fainting on day 2, because fainting on day 2 doesn't actually do any damage to your energy. So you want to make sure you don't have any money on you. So you sell them on day 2, so you get the money on day 3, so you don't lose any. Here you just want to fish until Willie's open, and then you want to sell all the fish you found and buy the fiberglass rod and as many bait as you need. I bought, I believe, around 100, I guess. I can't quite see, it's too blurry because of the Windows Movie Maker, but I'm sure it's around 100 somewhere. Then you go straight back to the fishing spot and you fish here until your inventory is full. That will probably happen, especially with a fiberglass rod. It's very easy to fill your inventory. I run straight back to the farm, drop off some stuff that I looted in the shipping box, except the fish. You want to wait with selling the fish. I drop off all of that and I go straight back. Looking back at it, I should have dropped the spring onions too, but it doesn't matter. Get level 5 fishing on the 3rd day. That's not something you need to get. It's all the same, but you can do that if you want to, and if you get enough perfect catches. This the 4th day is the exact same as the 3rd day. You just repeat, and then you sell all the fish on that day, so you have the money on the 5th. Name your cat something loving, and then pick up all the parsnips. What are the ones that you can't harvest, and then head straight for the mines. The priority in the mines is as follows. You look for the entire level to see if you find any ladders. If you don't find any ladders, you should gather all the copper ore if they're not too far away from you, if it's not too much of a hassle to get to it. Then if there's not too many monsters, or if you have a good weapon, like a Neptune's glaive or a broken harpoon, or later on down the mines, if you get a wooden mallet or something, you can kill the monsters easier. So you do the math if it's worth it, because killing all the monsters on a level will increase the chances of finding a ladder from stones by 4%. Not a lot of people know that, but that's how it works. So if you have all monsters killed on a level, you're more likely to find a ladder from the stones, not to mention the ladders that the monsters themselves may drop. That's why frequently you'll probably realize or experience that sometimes you just can't find a ladder. Well, that's why, because you haven't killed all the monsters yet. So after you killed all the monsters, and if there is no copper ore, or if it's way too far away, or if there's no ladder on the floor, then you start chopping stones. You prioritize the small stones. The white stones aren't something you want to hit until you have the copper pickaxe, which you will get on the 6th, or well, the 8th. You will upgrade it on the 6th. So one of the goals during this day is to get 45 copper ore, but you shouldn't stop there. You should gather as many as you can. You need them for the furnaces later. I have a lot of food that I brought from the farm. It's fine if you're struggling for inventory, that's okay. It's most important that you have enough food to last you for the entire mines. This is gonna be the rule for the mines throughout the entire thing, really. We make it to level 30 today, which is a pretty good milestone. We also got a forest sword. Anything between 15 and 30, or maybe even 40 if you get lucky enough, is a good milestone for the first day. As long as you get 45 copper ore, everything else is negotiable, it's okay. We gather as much as we can and then we leave, head back home and go to bed. We get level 2 farming here, and level 1 farming of course as well, so we can craft this scarecrow and fertilizer if we want to. I think I forget it in the save though. So we chop up a little bit of land while we're smelting the copper bars, and while we smelt the second batch, which is the last batch, we're chopping down all the stones in the nearby area, because remember, we are going to upgrade our copper or our pickaxe to copper. We will not have it later on, so when we expand our farmland, we're going to have to be prepared for that. Go to Pierre, get enough potato seeds to get level 6 farming on day 12, that's the big one. You can do the math yourself. I'll put the link to the farming experience chart in the description. and then we sell enough parsnips to afford the copper axe or copper pickaxe upgrade. Can't talk. We open up a little bit of land here, plant all the potatoes. Days 6 through 12 are quite heavy as far as time investment. You have to work quite hard during these 6 days, but there are only 6 days, and sometimes you'll have a rain day or two, which definitely makes it easier. You still have time to do other things, but it's just that you have less time for a few days, which makes it a little bit harder. We go to the river, and the mountain lake, I mean, and we fish a little bit, just for the remainder of the day, and then we head back and go to bed. Got level 7 fishing here, which is quite nice. Moving on to the next day, we're just gonna do the same thing we do on most days. We just water everything, and we head off to do whatever we have to do. And since this is day 7, we just go fish. Nothing interesting to see here, so we just finish the day. After we're done fishing, drop off everything, turn over the next day. This day, same thing, except now we can actually get our pickaxe. So instead, we're gonna water everything, and then we're gonna go get our pickaxe, and then we're back in business. And at this point, it's a race against the clock. Things have been fairly chill up until now, but it's about to kick it up a notch. It's more fun and engaging at this point, in my opinion at least. But it can be a lot harder and very intimidating for a lot of people. Gather one torch here or make it yourself. It's very necessary for these kind of mines. It's very hard to see in the dark otherwise. And it's definitely something I recommend, to find the ladders. Because, like I said in the beginning, you always want to locate the ladders in the beginning of the stage, so the torch helps with that. Remember that you can plant furnaces on the top and chests, so that's definitely going to help when you're smelting gold before the strawberries, because you do need many sprinklers in the beginning and when you get your strawberries, so you really want those gold bars as early as possible, and the only way is going to maximize time, and the only way to maximize time is to plant the furnaces in the mines and then bring them back with you and drop off the stuff you don't need in the chest in the mines. So it's definitely something you want to do. Here we're just opening up a lot of space for the coming strawberries and the sprinklers, so we don't want to line them up and use as much time as we can. Remember, the festival opens or closes at 2 PM, so just enter there before 2 PM and you're golden. So you can utilize the time in the morning to prepare, basically. And smelt, of course. Plant as many sprinklers as you possibly can, as many as you could manage. I couldn't manage that many this time. I think it's around 30, but it's still not bad. It's not a bad run. It just could have been better. The following day, we plant the remaining strawberries, and we head off to the mine again. Here are all the progression pictures of the following days. All you do at this point is farm sprinklers, expand your farmland, plant all the crops, and just keep going until you get a massive crop. That's all you do until the summer. Kale is generally the best bet. Strawberry time. This is the amount of money I made from the strawberries, and the kale as well on the same day. About 75,000. On the 23rd day is when you want to buy parsnips, roughly about 1,000, because you can't buy them on the 24th, so you want to be prepared. And after the 24th, you can't get any more parsnips grown, but you still want to plant them. You'll see later why. But you just plant as many as you possibly can. Squeeze as many as you possibly can get in there. Here I just chop some wood to get more coal. If you want to, you can go to the traveling cart here. Sometimes they sell batteries, iridium bars. You can buy those and make iridium sprinklers. But other than that, they can also sell quality sprinklers. I don't do this run because I don't want you to rely on RNG. I want this to be a skill setup, and it's definitely possible to have that. Here's the summer, and this is what it looks like when parsnips have been planted the previous season and they never grew. Now this applies to all plants, but parsnips just happen to be the cheapest. Normally land go untilled if you go cross season. The only way to keep that, to have it stay tilled, is by doing this exact trick. I came up with it myself, but I don't know if anyone else has thought about it already. But it allows you to have all the land tilled, and because of the sprinklers, it's also watered, which means you save an immense amount of time. And you can plant the blueberries right away, a lot of them. Now normally blueberries are harvested 4 times in the summer, but because of my level 10 farming perk, 10% more farming, it means if you plant and water them on day 1, you get 5 harvests, which is a 25% increase. Now normally that's not possible, but because of this trick, it is. And because we have level 10 farming, that means we get 5 harvests on every single blueberry that we planted today. Normally you can only plant, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've only done this twice. 160 sprinklers is around my limits. I'm sure you can get more, but at the cost of, well, money or other things. I'll try to do this better, but this is about as much as I can get. But that allows you to get a massive amount of profit on all these blueberries. 200 blueberries on top of the sprinklers that you have is about the max that I've found you can water yourself without running out of time. So you can try this yourself. This is about as much profit as I can make so far. I'm gonna expand and improve this guide as much as I can, or strategy as much as I can, but this is about as much as I can do right now. Ended up with around 285,000 gold earned and I believe 1,400 blueberries, which should be around 1.25 million gold over the entire summer from the blueberries alone. So that means in total from spring and summer it's about 1.5 million gold. If I don't do anything but let the blueberries grow and then harvest them. Anyway, that's how I make around 300,000 gold in the spring and 1.2 million from the blueberries alone in the summer. Thanks for watching.